Good morning and welcome to another video from Conversationcafe.ch. And as we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, we take one of my podcast episodes and we magically change it into a video. And the podcast episode that we're going to be producing this morning is episode number 33, the latest. And it was in this podcast episode that we discussed one particular mistake and one particular English expression specifically aimed at Swiss German speakers who are learning the English language. So what was the common mistake that we discussed? Well, the common mistake that we discussed had to do with three English verbs actually that often get mixed up, and that would be to grow up, to grow, and to bring up. And so we can start with to bring up. What does that mean? Well, basically, to bring up, we always use in connection with children. So we bring children up. Kinder zu erziehen, I believe, is the German translation. And so to bring up children, this job is normally done by the parents, of course, but anyone can actually bring children up. For example, I went to school actually with a young girl who her parents unfortunately died in a car accident. So she was not brought up by her parents, she was brought up by her grandparents. And they were the ones that gave her food and clothing, a roof over her head, they taught her values and principles, etc. Everything that they could provide for her to bring her up as a young child. Now, this brings us to grow up. Now, grow up, children grow up whether you are there or not for them actually. And this is often the expression we use to say we grew up in another country. I grew up in Cape Town, for example. And so to grow up basically means the process, the physical process that you go through, that all children go through, to go from a child to an adult. Where did you grow up? I grew up in Cape Town. My parents brought me up in Cape Town, but I grew up myself, of course, there. And that brings us to the last expression, which is to grow. And anything can grow, right? My hair can grow, my business can grow, I hope my podcast will grow, and of course plants can grow, etc, etc, etc. So to grow just means etwas das wächst. Das ist eigentlich die richtige Übersetzung. And so that's the common mistake that often happens with these three verbs: to bring up children, children grow up to an adult, and things can simply grow. And so the last thing we want to mention in our video today is our English expression for today. And it's an easy one. The expression is to see eye to eye. And in German, sometimes this gets mixed up with unter vier Augen. And so to see eye to eye does not mean that we discuss something privately. It means that we agree. So I could say, for example, I'm very happy my boss and myself, we see eye to eye on my salary. I want to earn X, he agrees that I can earn X, and therefore we see eye to eye and everybody is happy. So that's it. That's our video for today. Please don't hesitate to contact me on ross@conversationcafe.ch if you would like to say hello, if you'd like to ask me a question, or perhaps even book a free demo lesson to help us to see how we can help your English stay where it needs to be. I would love to hear from you. And so, as I always end my videos with a ganz liebe Grüß von Ross.